Morning, everyone. August 12th, Wednesday, August 12th. And let's start off the day by congratulating Kamala Harris for being selected to join Joe Biden on the Democratic ticket. We now know who the two sides are complete, and we can get to the election. I think the amount of stuff going on around politics between here and I think it's November 3rd. It's going to be interesting. I hope it stays positive and about the future and not negative and name calling, but we shall see. So I just wanted to congratulate Kamala Harris for that quite nice. It's an accomplishment. And yeah, I just wanted to at least say congratulations. On the stock front, we have Tesla kind of following Apple's lead. If you remember, was it 2 weeks ago? Apple did a 4-for-1 stock split. Tesla one-ups that and does a 5-for-1 stock split later this month. So pretty interesting. Obviously, well, I guess I shouldn't say obviously. Hopefully, everyone knows that really a stock split doesn't create value. It simply creates more shares. If we are operating in the world of day traders or Robinhood traders, it does have a psychological impact. Well, I should say, when I was younger and just starting out in the dot-com era, I loved stock splits. I remember Cisco Systems. It's interesting. They actually report after the bell today. It's funny. I wrote that down. But I remember Cisco Systems split. I think it averaged a stock split every 10 months. When I was buying it and trading it back in the day. And I loved stock splits. It just it made me feel like I had more, right? So if you have 10 shares of Tesla now, or soon you'll have 50. But, the stock is trading up on this news. People will feel like it's a cheaper price. But again, no value is created, just so we're clear. Again, Apple did 4-for-1, Tesla 5-for-1. Bitcoin, I don't know if you've been tracking Bitcoin, but it has been up a little bit. I saw it just hit 11,500 yesterday. I don't own any Bitcoin. Not a crypto fan, but again, it is moving as a store of value, and I think it's interesting to talk about it. Along that end is gold. Gold broke through the 2,000 mark, as we talked about, I think, on Monday, but it fell back yesterday. Yesterday, it went down to 1927 from a peak of 2,089. I just checked before I hit record, and it's up to 1948, so just shy of going back in. Thank you for the question. Would stock splits ever tempt me from going back into stocks? Hell no. Hell no. The only thing that would tempt me to go into I almost said casino. How funny is that? The only thing that would tempt me to go back into stocks is a 50% haircut, 50. If they went down 50%, I would start poking around. The only time I owned stocks in the last 20 years was during the crisis when I think I got Citigroup and Ford and actually Blackstone for like under $3 or something. I think Blackstone was like $8 or $9 or something, but it might have been 17. I forget. Whatever it was crazy evaluations. So if the S&P goes down 50%, I'll go back into stocks. But you and I both know the Fed will not let that happen. So no stocks for me. I'll stick to real estate because I feel like I have at least a fair fight. The stock market's a casino. I don't understand the rules. The rules change. There's outside forces that I am not big enough to get a heads up on. No thanks for me. All right, back to my talk track. So Kamala Harris got it. Oh, I haven't heard a lot about stimulus talks this week, right? It's Wednesday already, right? I heard, and I haven't validated this yet. Maybe some of you know, but apparently the key Republican negotiator, Mark Meadows, is on vacation this week? Seriously? Seriously. That's not okay. Now, if it's some kind of other family emergency or something of that nature, I get it. But if he's on vacation this week, that's not cool. even if you're not negotiating, you need to at least appear like you're ready to pick up the phone. That's not a good look. If it's true, I'm not saying it's true. I just read an article. One, with in today's environment, you never know which article is fake news. But if he's really on vacation this week, tisk tisk, not cool, man, not cool. So we'll see. I'm going to try to research that. If anybody else has an article about where he's at, because he seems to be MIA, let me know. I would love to see that. I do wonder where the negotiations are, right? We have the stimulus check, the $1,200 or $3,200 for a family of four. That's kind of stuck in the wind. Lots of stuff that's kind of stuck. We're not moving forward. These executive orders that we've talked about a couple of times are band-aids on what needs to be a tourniquet, and they're not going to hold forever. Some would argue they are headline grabbing, but don't even solve the problem. So we still need help. We have a bridge halfway over this, and where are we going? So we'll see. Another bankruptcy in retail. This one on the East Coast, Stein. It's an off-price retailer. Honestly, never heard of it, but they did have 281 stores. That's decent. So Steinmart filed for Chapter 11, likely shutting down all stores and just going immediately to liquidation. Man, retail's tough. U.S. consumer prices up again in July. They were up 0.6 in June, 0.6 in July. Really across currents, gasoline was up, oil really was up, as you might imagine, from the bottom. But inflation for the year is only at 1%. Remember, the Fed is telling us they're not doing anything till 2%. So we still have some room. I would tell you inflation, once this thing gets going, will probably come back faster than most people expect. I really do think the economy is perking up. It could still fall back, but it does feel like green shoots are being easier to see. I go back to that small business survey, I think it was on Monday, where when the survey was done in March, I think it was 36% said they could survive. Now we're up to 64% think they can survive at current. And I can just see retailers in my little area kind of operating differently. Not that they're going to make gobs of money, but if they can survive the next year, they're going to be a lot more streamlined and a lot more profitable once we get out of this, is my opinion. So pretty interesting. Don't know if you saw this, but it caught my attention. Microsoft is looking to launch an Android phone with 2 screens. I'm not sure why you need 2 screens on a phone, but it's different. And it's going to be priced at $1,400. $1,400 for a phone. Britain over there in Europe is really struggling. Really struggling, down 20.4%, now officially in a recession after Q1 falling 2.2%. Reading articles about Britain really points to bad policy choices. Basically, they voted on Brexit seemingly, what did I write it down? Almost 4 years ago. And there's been a lot of lack of investment in the country because people didn't know what was going on. Companies didn't know what was going on. So they just waited and waited and waited. And now you have this crisis and you have a dearth of investment. You have a dearth of options, and the country is really struggling. But definitely the worst economy in Europe, according to the article, which is a shame. Cisco Systems, as I mentioned, reports after the bell. That will be a bellwether stock to watch. It's not in the big 5 or big 6, but it is a big Silicon Valley company, so it'll be interesting to watch where that's at. S&P, within a whisper of a record, frankly, it could have popped. It could have set the record while we're talking, not sure. Apple, closing in on $2 trillion. I remember seemingly 6 months ago, I think Amazon was the first to trip the trillion mark. Now we're talking about Apple going to $2 trillion. It's mind-boggling. Something I pulled from Simon Properties Group earnings announcement that I think I failed to mention yesterday is they suffered through 10,500 lost shopping days across all their retailers just in 90 days. That is tough. That is tough. And that's why Simon Property Groups is looking to kind of diversify, pick up retailers cheap, like we talked about yesterday. it's interesting to see how they're using this environment to potentially, I don't know if you would call it change or tweak their business model, right? Very mall oriented. But now if they become mall oriented by owning some of the anchors, could be interesting, right? Kind of vertically integrated, right? To go back to Ford back in the day, owning everything from the rubber trees up to the, pushing the car out. So it's interesting to see that. And then lastly, again, I think I talked about it already, but gold tripped 2,000. It lost 5% yesterday, which was kind of unnerving. And I think that's mainly because there's optimism in the economy. I really think that's what it is. Optimism in the economy. People are getting out of gold, which is a kind of when you're scared. Also, rates ticked up. Rate didn't tick up a lot, but they ticked up after noticeably falling for several weeks. Again, I think rates ticking up is optimism. I think it feels like we're all just a little bit more optimistic about the future, which I consider a good thing. So that's what I got for you today. I believe we're on schedule to talk with Anna Kelly here in about 20 minutes or so. So that's always fun. If so, that video will be up in a couple hours. All right, everybody, take care of yourself. Bye.